And welcome to episode 20? Episode 20 of Tally Benchwarmers. Your unofficial, definitely not expert take on the latest in college sports, some of it local, some of it not. We're going to be backbenching some college basketball, some baseball, some softball. Man, but there was FSU and FAMU had all sorts of stuff happening this past weekend. So for the next 30 minutes or so, our WFSU team of benchwarmers, led by me, none other than me. You guys call me Mr. Mullins, right? Mr. Mullins as the head benchwarmer. I think the head benchwarmer is probably, that's not a good term anyway.
The lead benchwarmer.
I'm the lead benchwarmer? Yeah, maybe I'm on the bench. I'm on the bench today
Number
with
one benchwarmer.
number one benchwarmer. I'm on the bench with Adrian. No, we're not on the bench with Adrian Andrews, are we?
No.
Where the heck is Adrian Andrews, our sports reporter? How can we do a sports podcast without our sports reporter?
He's actually working.
Yeah,
He's
doing his real job.
Yeah. Yeah, Adrian is doing a real job for WFSU News, so we'll let it slide this time. But I am joined here by Jennifer Tappen, our CFO.
Hello.
Are we still in the black? Or are we in the red on this broadcast?
On this broadcast, we're way in the green.
We're way in the green.
Yes.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Because it's free.
I don't even know where that goes. Yeah, I don't know what that means in the accounting world. But hey, but Mr. Eric Carter, our assistant chief engineer, our FSU sports guru, who is ready to just roll off some stats of the weekend here in a little bit, right?
Yes, indeed. We had a lot going on, like you said.
We did. We had, besides our typical, what we've been, baseball. We've been talking about baseball lately. Softball, starting up with that. Obviously, basketball. The basketball season, the conference schedules winding down. But we had the men's tennis team in College Station, Texas.
Down.
And they took down the men's team at A&M. It was a kind of a revenge victory for them, since we'll be talking about the softball team later, but at A&M. But they
were deep in the heart of Texas.
They were deep in the heart of Texas. My wife, and she loved it last week when I mentioned her, because she's a Texas Aggie.
Ah.
Yeah, she and I grew up in the great state of Texas, and I went to a small school. She went to the big school.
So she's a part of the 12th man.
She could be considered part of the 12th man, yeah. But I think what happened was for the girls who were at the games, usually what they were there for was to kiss the guy that they were with whenever A&M scored a touchdown.
Ah,
yeah. She never dropped down to the field to do the push-ups like the core guys do, when A&M scores. Sorry, I'm just
okay.
And actually probably pretty sexist in my remarks, or wasn't I with that?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
But this was in the 80s.
Yeah.
You wouldn't remember the 80s. You probably barely remember the 80s.
I remember the 80s.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I know a little bit about that.
A little bit about the 80s. Where am I going with this?
I don't know, but shout out to Miss Benchwarmer.
That's right.
Miss Head Benchwarmer.
Miss Head Miss Number One Benchwarmer. My wife,
go.
Clara Mullins. Hey, Clara. Hi. Hey. Yeah, wasn't that what the coach from Jacksonville? He's like, hey, Duval. Okay, we digress. Okay, the men's tennis team beat the Aggies. The women's tennis team, they're 9-1. Actually, the Aggies, I should point this out. The Aggies ranked number 9.
Correct.
On the tennis. Anything that has to do with a round ball, it looks like this year, the Aggies are doing well.
Yes. So far, yes.
So far, yeah. Anyway, so the women's tennis team beat Charleston Southern. They're 9-1 for the season. The FSU swim and dive team and the ACC championships were there, and we're going to turn to our expert swimming
expert
bench warmer.
Swimmer.
On a swim team, it's not a bench. What do you sit on when you just kind of sit with your feet in the pool, or what?
No, you just sit on the deck.
Okay.
On the deck.
But anyway,
It's
Jennifer,
in the hot tub.
she she lettered in high school swimming.
I did.
Go, Jen.
With the rest of the team.
Yeah. But we had some success at the ACC championships.
We did. I'm probably going to pronounce his name wrong. Michael.
Go ahead.
Michael
Arkangelski.
Thank you. He won the
Yeah,
ACC championship in the 100-meter backstroke.
Go, Michael.
He
absolutely.
he got the FSU record in the 200-meter backstroke and the 100-meter freestyle. We had our 400 freestyle men's relay won 5th at the championship. Maddie Huggins had a few top 8 finishes at the championship. We had a diver, Kaylee Clark, who won 8th on the platform.
So overall, men and women, they kind of finished middle of the pack, right?
Yeah,
I think
well,
7th place in both men and women.
Yeah, they did really, really well.
Yeah.
They earned 7 top
Absolutely.
8 podium finishes.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good for our swimmers.
And think about this: the Virginia Cavaliers team, I think, is won the ACC championship for 7 years in a row.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who would think that in the mountainous area of the mid Atlantic that you would have all these dynamite swimmers?
Well, you got to remember. See, we swim for leisure. They swim because it's cold.
They swim.
So
They
trying to get out of the water
of
fast.
the pool.
Right.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah. So because I did notice that the Hurricanes, and too bad for them, the Hurricanes, but they kind of finished kind of low down. But and the further south, maybe that's it. The further south you go, the slower the swimmer.
Yeah.
We got to remember that. Anyway, so beach volleyball, our women's beach volleyball team, undefeated so far this season. I guess the season really just started, but they were in Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
Yes, they're taking name and kicking sand.
I think the only reason to go to Hattiesburg, Mississippi, would probably be to play women's volleyball. I don't know.
Are they even on the beach though? Or are they on the coast?
Hattiesburg is not even on the coast.
No.
I don't think so. Yeah. It's
further north.
Well, it's kind of like our beach. Tallahassee's 40 miles from a beach. So
yeah, and
but
they have a whole beach volleyball set up at Tom Brown Park.
Yeah,
yes.
And here and at Florida State.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Shout out to my son's girlfriend Madeline.
They're going to be, and our women's team is going to be hosting a tourney here. I think a small tourney here this week. Yeah. We're recording this on Monday morning, so lots of sports that happened over this past weekend, and then lots of stuff coming up for this week. And speaking of what's to come and what has happened, let's talk some men's basketball.
Yes.
Outdoors.
There's some good and some bad. I mean, since we last chatted, we really took down in a closer game than I would have wanted to see, but we took down the Hurricanes.
They are always good for a win.
Yeah.
Yes.
In basketball, they are good for a win.
That's the only thing that the Hurricanes are good for in this town is for a win.
Yes.
But the men beat Miami last week. Then they traveled to Louisville, and it was a not expected that we would win. I mean, Louisville is a ranked team, right?
Yes, they're ranked number 22.
Yeah, but I think we were down by 20 at one point. We fought back.
Yeah, we fought back. We got it down to 6 points 3 times in the last 11 minutes.
Yeah.
So it was a good competitive game. It's a lot to overcome a 20-point deficit.
Yeah.
When you
absolutely
spot the other team 20 points in the first half.
Uh-huh.
But you think about it. We beat. We did well in the second half. We outscored them 50-44 in the second half.
Yeah. So. If we just outscored them by 58-44 or 59-44, we would have win. Yeah. That's all you had to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slackers.
So we are currently sitting. The men's team sitting at 7-9 in the conference, tied for 8th place in the conference on the bubble, playing North Carolina tonight, hosting Carolina tonight
here at the Tuck.
At the Tuck, I'm sure it'll be a big crowd. There was I was at the Miami game. I think we had 7,800 people at the Miami game. It was loud.
Yeah.
The Miami game was very loud. I think it was student appreciation night too. So there were a lot of kids there, but. Monday night, 7 o'clock tip-off, I'm hoping that we can get some folks in the Tuck against UNC.
Yeah, but a 7 o'clock tip-off is a lot better. Those 9 o'clock games.
But we've
We're
got
getting old.
yeah. No, I go there, I shoot photos, and then I post them to stuff, and then I pretend to be a journalist and all of that. But,
He does Adrian's job.
yeah, no, Adrian then takes my whatever I do and makes it better,
makes it
right?
better.
Yeah. But okay, so we got 3 games left. We have got to sitting at 7-9 on the bubble, tied with Pitt, Georgia Tech, and Virginia Tech, all at 7-9 in the conference. I don't see how we can lose more than one of these last 3 and expect to make it to the ACC tourney.
We need all 3.
We need all 3, right? But I don't see us winning all 3. But
The next 2
if
are
they play
tough.
the second, if they play,
we played
if
Duke.
we play the games like they did the second half of that Louisville game,
Yeah.
that'll be good. A good send off for Coach Ham.
It would be great. This is his. I think tonight is his last. Maybe his last. No, I think we got one more home game.
Yeah, I think so.
We got one more home game. But they at the Miami game they had some great graphics up on the screen thanking Coach Ham. So it's going to be the Love Ham Festival here.
The Love
Ham. We ought to talk about this because we know Leonard Hamilton is resigning, not retiring, resigning at the end of the season. So we need to start our Benchwarmer Ham Watch.
Okay.
Not sure if Ham Watch is the right way to express our love for Ham, for Coach Ham, but also the fact that we know that we need to start finding a replacement, right? And to date, the administration and the boosters have not contacted any of us for our advice on the replacement, right?
Right. No.
No.
Then it's a shame. It's a shame.
Sam Cassell.
I think it's a lost opportunity if they don't reach out to us.
I do too.
Yeah, but Cassell is the
front
name
runner.
that's out there.
He's
for
the
sure.
front runner right now. So
I love Sam in
I love
college.
Sam.
I loved him in the pros.
Yeah.
I don't know how good of a coach he is. He hasn't coached in college, right? He's only coached in the pros, if I'm not mistaken.
right, that's correct.
But yeah, Cassell's he's a great character and great player.
Mm-hmm.
Should be able to motivate, hopefully, the team with if young players. You got an NBA star and all that. So
He's also got the history here at FSU. So that'll carry a lot of weight.
Okay, so the bad or the challenging part of the basketball world here at FSU with the men, but the ladies are kicking butt. They are kicking butt.
Lady Knowles.
They've been without Maria Gordon, OMG, and tonight, for 2 games, Tony Latson has been out. The nation's leading scorer has been out for 3 games.
Still leading the nation.
Yeah, undisclosed. I understand that there's privacy issues. You can't disclose really what, but they have played above their opponents for the last 2 games.
Yes.
Yeah.
Took down Pitt, which was nice.
Yeah. I was at the Pitt game, and it was Carla Villegas got punched in the face, in the eye.
Oh, wow.
Not once, but then a second time. But she had to leave the game because she was bleeding. She came back in, had something in her. And then Amaya Bonner got poked in the eye. I mean, it was a rough game.
Pitt's rough.
It was rough.
Yeah.
To say that basketball is not a physical game is crazy.
Very much
I
is.
guess, yeah. But we had our senior star who has stepped up in both of these games.
Okay.
Oh man, I'm telling you, Timson she's a
in
tough.
In that Pitt
tough.
game, she had 20 points, 8 boards, and 7 blocks.
The blocks were great. Yeah, everybody goes
timely.
Yeah, very timely blocks. Yeah, very timely.
Yes, indeed.
But then we came up against
number 20
Georgia Tech just this past weekend, right?
In the ATL.
Yeah. We
were in the ATL in their house.
He's being cool with that in
Yeah.
the ATL.
Yeah. Well, he's the cool guy.
He is. Of this table, he is by far the coolest guy.
He's a much cooler guy than I am.
But you're the coolest gal.
Yeah.
So,
Well, thanks.
I mean, by far at this table.
At
you're
this
the
table.
coolest
Always.
gal.
Always.
Yeah.
Unless Kim Kellyan comes in and talk about soccer, then
If
she
Kim
beats
is
me
here
every
for
time.
soccer, then who knows? But we without our 2 star guards, against number 20 Georgia Tech.
Yes.
Sydney Bowles, she stepped up.
Career high.
See,
that's what.
Yeah.
Well, Lamar texted you and said this team is battle tested.
Battle tested is right in lots of ways, and getting punched in the face, and just that was a big win.
Yeah,
that was a big win for them.
And then, like you said, Nikaya, she did her thing again. Her 45th double-double career, 14th of the season this year.
Oh wow!
19 points, 16 boards.
16 boards. That's a whole team in some cases, at least on one end or the other. But yeah, so we are sitting with a 12-4 conference record in fourth place. We play the next two games. We play number 1 in the nation, Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. But they just lost to NC State.
Yeah, that is their
in
only
double overtime.
That's their only conference loss this season so far. So we play Notre Dame, and then we host Duke, I think, for the last game of the season. Duke is sitting with a 12-4 conference record also.
Yes.
So we've got 2 tough games here before the ACC conference championship tourney would start. I think they're definitely going to be in the championship tourney, but it would be great to end with a 14-4 conference record.
Absolutely. If we get our 2 girls back, I think we can.
Yeah, it's absolutely. You get if they come back and they're ready to play. I mean, it's going to be tough. Latson's got to kind of get back into the game flow.
Yeah.
She's going to be in game shape, but then get in the game flow. But let's hope. Okay, enough about our Knowles. FAMU, the Mighty Rattlers on the men and women's basketball side of town. We've got the men who were resurging, not necessarily the huge resurgence the last week or so that we'd seen before, but not doing bad.
No, they're
doing
not. Bad. It's another battle-tested team. They're climbing.
They are. They're climbing.
We're going to get Norvell in here just so he can say that.
That's
my
right.
God, that would be so great. Yeah, maybe we'd get more than a couple of dozen viewers if we got Norvell in here. That'd boost it up to a couple of hundred, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, so the FAMU men are they lost. Their most recent game was a loss. So
Alabama State.
To Alabama State.
Yeah.
They're 9-5 in the conference, and they certainly seem like they could. Then they're fourth in the conference right now.
Yeah,
so,
they'll make the tournament.
They should make the SWAC tournament, I think.
Yes.
They did right before they'd beaten Alcorn State right before the loss to Alabama State, right? So,
and it was a 1-point loss.
Then they play Alabama A&M. I think tonight. Alabama A&M is tonight on Monday night, so that should be a good game. Go out to the Lawson Center if you happen to be catching this on a Monday afternoon.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it should be
support the local teams.
Because Alabama State has a 95 record in conference also, so we're tied, and I guess you could say tied, and we got 4 teams at 95 in the SWAC right now. So, but the men, they're climbing. The women,
they're declimbing.
They are declimbing. They're coming out. They're at. They've got 2 consecutive losses now.
Yes.
And they're kind of dropping. They're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like they're in 8th place with a 6-9 conference.
They're on the bubble.
Yeah.
They're like our men.
They're like the men. Yeah. It's just a flip flop kind of how the men and the women for the 2 schools are handling the basketball season this year. But, it's good to know. It's good to be talking with some enthusiasm basketball here.
Absolutely.
March will be upon us, and the March Madness will start soon enough.
Next week. Well, March will be here next
March
week.
Will be here next week. Yeah, no.
Not March Madness.
No. Tourney time starts. Yes, tourney time will start, and then we'll see, kind of where we get seated in the 64. I was hearing also that they're maybe talking about in next year or the following year they may expand the tourney to 76 teams.
That would be That's a lot of basketball.
That's a lot of basketball.
At the end of the year, that's a lot of basketball in a
basketball.
short, compact time because they're not looking to extend the end time. They're just looking to add more teams.
Yeah.
So instead of having, you play the first 2 rounds and then have a week off and then you play another 2 rounds, and they're looking to jam pack it in.
That doesn't seem like a good idea.
More money.
Okay. Well, we'll see if they talk to any of us. If the NCAA talks to any of us.
I don't understand why nobody comes to us for sports advice. I don't get it. It could be that we say
this is the first year of the podcast. Maybe once we get established, at the national level, and they will they'll be asking you for swimming advice, and for accounting advice,
and for NASCAR advice.
As our number one head bench warmer says, we are the unofficial,
definitely
not expert,
not expert.
Well, that's okay. Well, we'll take it. We'll take it. If they come to us for advice, we'll be ready.
Always,
always ready.
Yes.
Okay, so on the table here, we've been talking basketball. We have a basketball but let's talk about some sports also that are just starting their seasons. Essentially, the FSU men's baseball team, they are red hot.
They're amazing.
Undefeated so far in the early part of the season.
Yep.
Yes.
They had a huge weekend. The last 5 days or so at the field have been.
Well, you got to think about it like this. Got our first road win. Went down to Tampa. Handled business.
Yeah.
Yep.
Starting staff still did good. Overall, in the 7 games, they got a 1.35 ERA.
Yeah.
That's
insane.
That's unreal.
That's crazy.
That's insane. Yeah. Then they come home and flex their muscle.
Well, flex the bats for sure. Flex the bat.
They flex their muscles.
Yeah.
I feel like that first game this weekend was more of a home run derby sort of a setting rather than an actual full-on baseball game. They just kept hitting and hitting and scoring and hitting and scoring.
Well, the NCAA has this
what you call a run rule?
A run rule that you rarely see in men's baseball.
Yeah.
We did in that first game against Pitt.
Yeah.
I mean Penn, excuse me.
24 points.
Crazy.
Runs.
Well, I was trying to carry that over.
Yeah, from you're just making me feel better because I kept calling runs points last.
And in 7 innings.
Thank you, by the way.
Yes.
Thank you for making me feel better. Well, I'm sorry, what I wasn't listening to you.
In 7 innings, they did that in 7.
Well,
innings.
yeah, that's where the run rule. If you're up by double, or if you're up by more than, is it 10?
It's 10.
Is it more than 10?
Yeah.
I think we were up by more than 10. 24.
22. We were up by 22.
We were up by 22.
That's a double-double.
Yeah, we had
a double-double. That's what I like.
Yeah. So
well, see, I was given the points reference to the football team.
Oh, that's right, because we have now scored had as many 24-point games
as FSU's
football team had last year. You're right.
And it only took us
like 5 games to get there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
That's
terrible.
Yeah, that's a downer.
The baseball team is climbing.
The baseball team is climbing.
They've climbed.
They've climbed.
They're just chilling up at the top.
Yeah. It's a luxury to be able to pitch when your bats are actually doing well like that, because pitching while you're ahead is a lot better than pitching not to lose.
For sure.
So we travel to Jacksonville. Is that what happens?
That's correct.
Later this week. And then we play Georgetown in a 3-game series. Mm-hmm. So the men's baseball, Coach Jared he's got a good team here
for sure.
Yeah,
and some good starting pitchers.
Yes.
Yeah. So go Noles there.
Go Noles.
And now then there's the Joanne Graff Classic that we were hosting. The ladies softball team was hosting.
Yes.
We had FAMU, which we'll talk about in a little bit. FAMU is a team, Southeast Louisiana, and then number 5 or 6
number 6
ranked Texas A&M.
Yeah, we were ranked number 8.
We were, and so we took care of business on Thursday, Friday.
Right.
Against Florida A&M and against Southeast Louisiana. Saturday, a doubleheader against number 5, Texas A&M. And I was at the first of a doubleheader, first game, and we played well. We left runners on base. We should have scored more than 3 runs. And had we scored even 4 runs,
we would have won the game,
because Texas A&M I mean, they've got. They're I was telling Eric, their third base person. She is just. She covers the field. She is a great fielder.
Yes.
Man, she was a rocket sent to her way. But anyway, yeah. So the A&M tied the game in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah.
And so it tied it at 3, and then we couldn't pull anything together and then A&M scored then 3 more runs in the bottom of the 8th in extra innings, and we couldn't do anything. So 6-3 loss, and then that second game, it
was over early.
Yeah, it seemed it was definitely early for it. But the women have got a good team.
Yes.
And then A&M then on Sunday ended up beating Southeast Louisiana. So I guess you could say A&M won the tournament, and rightfully so. They were the best team on the field this weekend.
Yes, they were.
But the women got the Dugout Classic.
Yes.
Coming up, facing Mercer and FGCU and the College of Charleston. Then they go to Jacksonville. So we've got, and then they're traveling. They're going to make a West Coast tour of Oregon here later, beginning I think probably next week. Next week. So I think if we could get on a road trip with
they'll probably have 2 West Coast swings because we have Cal and Stanford in the conference now.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
that'd be great.
Yeah.
Traveling with the softball team. I don't know if they would have enough room for 2 or 3 guys, but we may just have to send Jen.
I'd definitely go.
Okay.
Benchwarmers on the road.
Well, if
Benchwarmers on the road.
It's up to you to find the money now. See,
that's not.
Well, she's the CFO.
If anybody wants to, if anybody wants to donate to this, send Jen with the softball team. Please contact us.
Okay, we'll do. We'll talk about that. So, speaking of the Joan Graff tourney or the Classic, FAMU was one of the teams.
Yeah.
FAMU, obviously, they were up against some teams that we knew that they would struggle against because of the quality that FSU and A&M had, and even Southeast Louisiana.
Right.
They were winless in the tourney, but good. It was good experience for them.
Yes.
To be playing against that kind of quality.
Mm-hmm.
So let's hope that they do have the Florida tournament. They're going to be facing Florida.
Yes.
Troy and Samford. So coming up in that tourney. So Florida. By the way, speaking of Florida, I think Florida is ranked number 1 in men's basketball now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's hard for us to say, but I just, since we're talking about that university down in Gainesville for just a second here, we ought to at least admit that they've got a good basketball team this year.
You can do that.
Okay, I will. I know that Eric is like, he kind of keep it. Don't let it come out.
It's a malfunction.
Yeah. So the men's FAMU baseball team 1-5 overall, struggling. They lost against University of North Florida. They were going to play Florida themselves, but it was postponed because of weather, right?
Yes.
They did. They've also lost in the Andre Dawson Classic. They lost to Missouri and to Southern. I mean, Missouri's always had a good baseball team.
Very good baseball team.
So they play. They're going to play that makeup game with UF here coming up. So let's hope that maybe we can get a Florida win, a win against a Florida team. I'm not sure about the Florida baseball team. They usually have a good baseball team.
Yeah, they have a good baseball. That's the one team that's kind of like a thorn in our side.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of them. This past year, there've been a lot of Florida teams outside of Tallahassee that have been thorns in our side.
That is true.
Yeah. So
except for on the basketball court.
Yeah. Oh, doggone it! That's the whistle for wrapping up. That's a double whistle, man.
Oh, that's a foul.
We got a foul.
We got a technical foul. I think because we talked about Florida.
Yeah. Oh.
That was the technical foul. Taylor called a tech against us. It was a good call, Taylor.
Good call, Taylor.
Before we wrap it up, though, the Nissan Altima 600.
Yes.
Crazy race on a little quick oval track. All Nissan Altimas in there. the owner of the track, his name is
Cletus.
I'm like, and then Cletus was also did he race in Daytona, or he didn't qualify?
He did. And he was the one that was quoted to say that he was ripping around Daytona like a bald eagle.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. And shout out to my friend Ben.
Your friend Ben.
He is looking for an Ultima to race.
Is he? Next year?
In the Nissan race, yes.
Okay, well, so
contact us.
Contact us, and
we'll share it with Ben.
There you go.
If you have a Nissan Altima for sale.
So if you got a Nissan Altima for sale, if you want to sponsor this crazy podcast, if you got questions or thoughts, just email us at tallybench@wfsu.org. Man, our email inbox may be blowing up.
Yeah.
After this podcast.
You forgot to say the sponsor, Jen.
Oh, to travel with the softball team.
Oh yeah, well yeah, okay.
Yep,
Sponsor Jen too. Okay, just email us and we'll figure it out. Yeah.
For sure.
So thanks to Taylor Cox on the other side of the glass. Thanks to Jason Acuna making us look as good as we can on the cameras. And we want to thank you for watching us here on Tally Benchwarmers. See you again next week.